Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were up about 0.7% and they continue to trade at a very high record level. And important thing to note is that at one stage the US markets were up almost about 1.5% and the Dow was almost about 220 points up. But there was a mild correction at the end of the session and it actually was, it closed with a gain of almost about 0.7%. It is supported by extremely good economic data point, and the US consumer confidence data that came in was at the highest level since 2008, and also Moody's upgraded the outlook for the banking sector as a whole, and we saw a lot of action in the banking space in yesterday's trade in US markets. European markets too were up almost about 1% as Italy could conduct a successful bond auction at a record low yield of almost about 1.3, which is the lowest that we have seen in the last about 5 years, and that definitely helped the sentiment. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Japan is up a bit and Hang Seng is down, so the trend is not very clear and they are not taking cues from what happened in US. Also yen has weakened a bit to about 102.11. Importantly friends, we have seen the US dollar gaining strength against most of the currencies, be it yen or euro or any other currency, and that is what is reflected in the way some of these precious metals and commodities are moving, wherein we have seen some weakness in the crude and some kind of a stability in the gold and silver prices. In terms of flows friends, FIs were net buyers in the cash market to the tune of about 711 crore, and the domestic institutions were sellers in the cash market to the tune of about 509 crore. Back home, our markets also continue to show a lot of strength, and for 3 consecutive days we have seen uptick in the market, and as we approach the expiry on Thursday, there could be some amount of volatility around the 6100, 6150 levels, wherein we have seen historically that it has turned out to be an important resistance. But given the overall strength in the global markets and a regular inflow of money, there is definitely some sense that the overall bias in the market is positive. The only point of concern is that the USD INR or the rupee has actually come down to the 9-month lowest level of 56 against the dollar, and that is something which is not fitting into this entire picture of a big rally in the market. So that is something that we'll have to watch out for. On that note, let me invite Sadhna to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. Yesterday, markets continued their northward journey for the 3rd consecutive day. Though it remained volatile all through the day, but Nifty finally closed the session with marginal gain of 0.40%. And in spite of handsome rise in the market, we have seen short positions were built up by market participants, as around 11 lakh shares were added in open interest, and cost of carry also decreased significantly by 1000%. Put call ratio also increased to 1.25, as it clearly indicating put option has added more number of shares as compared to call option, as it is clearly visible in the strikes of 6100 followed by 5900, and in call option strikes of 6200 this month as well as next month has seen a good activity. Overall, our bias for the market is positive, but we might see intraday whipsaws ahead of future and options expiry. From intraday perspective, one can go long on Dr. Reddy with a stop loss of 2087.10. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, the companies which will be announcing numbers today. ONGC, we are looking at a net profit of about 4,930 crore. Tata Motors, we are looking at a net profit of about 2,650 crore. Cipla, we are looking at a net profit of 330 crore for the quarter. And in case of NMDC, we are looking at a quarterly net profit of about 1,750 crore. Sun Pharma came out with good set of numbers post-market yesterday, both at the top line level as well as at the bottom line level. The numbers were better than market expectations, as against the market expectations of about 930 crore of net profit. The actual net profit was about 1011 crore. Top line level growth was also slightly better than market expectations, and importantly, company also has announced a bonus in the ratio of 1:1 as the company completed 25 years of existence. Overall, there is a feel that there is going to be some amount of upgrades in the numbers for the next couple of years. So one can expect about 30 to 40 rupees kind of an uptake in Sun Pharma in today's market. GST is likely to be rolled out only post 2014 after the general elections. This is what has been indicated by the Prime Minister in a conference in Tokyo, as some of the states like Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh are against the inherent structure of the tax. So there is not much of an agreement on that front. So there is likely to be delay in the implementation of GST, which would be a bit negative in terms of market sentiment. Coal Ministry has asked Power Ministry to probe the violation of the captive coal block by Jindal Steel and Power, as there are indications that the company has used the surplus coal by way of selling the excess power in the open market. So there could be a negative reaction in case of Jindal Steel and Power on the back of this development. Also, in case of NHPC, the Finance Ministry has initiated the process of stake sale of about 11.36% stake, and it is expected to fetch about 2,400 rupees to the government. And also in case of NFL, or the National Fertilizers Limited, the cabinet has approved the divestment of about 7%. United Spirits, some positive news, as the company will consider selling the Scottish grain whisky brand called Invergordon. And on the back of this development, one can go long on United Spirits with a stop loss of 2397 and a target of about 2519 to about 2565. Adani Power, some positive news, as the company is looking at raising about 3,000 crore through ECB to refinance and reduce its debt, and this is basically for its Tiroda plant, which could bring down the cost by almost 5%, the interest cost. So one can go long on Adani Power with a stop loss of 55.75 and a target of about 59.5. Tata Communications, some positive news, as the company is looking at raising about 1,000 crore by selling off its non-core assets. So one can go long on Tata Communications with a stop loss of 214 and a target of about 225 to about 229. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session. See you tomorrow at the same time.